I would like to welcome everyone to We Love Metal, and we're very honored to have Veronica Freeman from Benedictum today. How are you doing today, Veronica?
We love metal. I'm doing great. I'm in a very good mood today.
Excellent. We got you at a good time then.
Yes, you did.
March 8th is a big day for the band. Dominion drops, the new album. Must be quite exciting.
It is exciting because today is the day it drops in Europe. So I'm excited about that. And on the 8th, it drops in North America. So I am very, very happy. Like it?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do you like it?
As someone who's heard it, I was fascinated with it. I was blown away by the raw heaviness of it, to be honest with you.
Right on. Okay, you're my new best friend.
For at least the next 10 minutes. Those European interviewers, I got nothing on them.
Wow.
The praise so far on the album, it's been, us internet geeks, we've really given it some high praise. You must be pretty happy with that.
I'm very, very grateful about that. And I know that, everybody has their opinions. Oh, I've seen some bad ones too, so I hate to, maybe I'm too honest, but you know what? I'm really glad. Overall, it's been extremely positive. And, you can't deny how good that makes you feel.
Well, Seasons of Tragedy, that I believe was the second album, is that correct?
That is correct.
An incredible album. I mean, it really, that year, it made a lot of top 10 lists. And how do you think Dominion differs from that?
I think it differs. You were just saying earlier, it's a little more raw and heavy and dark. And I think that's a reflection of everybody that's involved with it, and just the new lineup that was writing together for the first time, and just a little reflection of everything going on in my life as well. And it was just a good chance to express everything.
Now, I have to bring this up. It's almost mandatory when we interview a female lead singer, because they're pretty rare in metal these days. But
not that rare anymore.
No, it's getting there.
Really, they're not. But go ahead, hon.
I'm just wondering. Your voice is very metal. There's no candy coating or sugar coating. Veronica Freeman has a metal voice. Have you found through your career that people have tried to pull you away from that at any time?
Wow, that is an excellent question. And actually, that a lot of people don't ask that, so I don't talk about it too much. That's exactly what happened. When I started out singing, which I didn't really think I was going to do that anyway, but, that was the first thing that I wanted to sing then, was metal, because once I really got turned on to it, I really loved it, and it suited my voice more because of the way that I sing. So I felt real at home with it. But then you get the stuff, oh, you're in a band? Yeah, I'm in a band. What kind of music do you play? Oh, metal. And then just you see in a lot of people, their expression would change. It's as if that wasn't a viable type of music. It's like if I would have said R&B or jazz or any other vein of music, it would have been more acceptable. Not with everyone, but a lot of times when I'd say that, and I'd have people call me all the time, friends of mine, gee, too bad you can't sing the blues. Too bad you can't do this. And I'm like, why? Because I guess people just weren't as accepting of the idea of the whole metal thing in general.
And you're right, and I think it's something that fans face every day, and it's almost enlightening to hear that, that successful musicians such as yourself still face that to this day, so.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Haven't had that happen as much recently, but definitely when I was starting out, to where it never made me question. It just kind of bummed me out, because you'd see how excited people would get when you'd say, oh, you're a musician, you're in a band. And I also would get that thing, oh, so once I'd say you're in a metal band, it was like, oh, what instrument do you play? Because no one thought that, well, woman, they're not going to be singing any metal, or, that sort of thing. So I got that a lot.
And speaking of metal, when you made this record, I would say you guys went in thinking it was going to be heavy, because you got Ryan Green from Megadeth to produce it. So
should have known what I was walking into, huh?
How did that come about?
The people that we were working with at the time knew Ryan, and we had talked to Jeff, of course, and he was going to do the third album too, but his obligations were with Foreigner at the time, and on top of that, we all did agree collectively that maybe it was a time to try to get a little different sound, not in any way deplete or detract from the integrity of that which is Benedictum, but maybe go with something a little heavier. I think that's just kind of where we were at the time. So I got a chance to go and meet Ryan, and he's such a cool person, and really made me feel at ease. And then we did a trial run to make sure everybody, got along, so to speak. Then we did Dominion first. Then there was a little break, and then we did the rest of the album.
Wonderful. And I'm assuming that comfort level must have grown over time.
Absolutely, I adore him. Call and bug each other every now and then when he's not, over inundated with stuff. And he is just, I learned so much. I learned so much about what my voice can and cannot do, and, where to draw the line with it, which is something that was new for me, because I have to say, over the years, I have rather taken it for granted. So instead of just going till burnout, he's just got a really good ear for, okay, I know where your peak is, and we're going to stop now and start over again tomorrow. Well, no, I can do it. So it was cool to learn, and sure enough, he'd be right. Come back fresher instead of all burnt out.
Wonderful. And you did the perfect segue for me, because I wanted to mention Jeff Pilson, who I love to listen to in anything that he does.
Yep.
Can you explain to us, it's chronicled on the internet, can you explain to us how that meeting took place and how you guys have come together throughout the years?
Okay. Well, the story goes, Craig Goldie and I have been friends for a long time. So we had this little agreement that, whoever made it or whatever would help the other one out. Well, I stepped away from music for quite some time and didn't pick it back up again while he went and, got his career going on. But you know what? We're those type of friends that we meant it, and when things really started happening for him and all that stuff, we would touch base every now and then, and in the different projects that I finally started when I started singing again. And finally, by the time what is now Benedictum came around, he'd heard some of the practice stuff we had and ended up saying, you know what, we need to meet. And that was really cool. He really fell in love with it and felt, okay, now you're ready, now it's time. And then he said, I think I have someone who would be a great producer for you, and that was Jeff Pilson. So we sent up some of the stuff we had so he could see if he would even be willing to take us on. And that's when he got back and said, okay, let's meet these people. So we went up and we did a 3-song demo together first. And with that, we got the deal for with Locomotive. And then he did On Creation and Seasons of Tragedy. And we just love him.
That's a pretty good lifelong friend to have right there.
Yes. Just a wonderful person. His whole family is wonderful. So shout out to Ravinder and Olivia and all that good stuff.
Now, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but you've played Waken Open Air and Gods of Metal, correct?
Yes.
Any other festivals that you see that you need to conquer?
Yes. Sweden Rock. God, there's a long list. Summer Breeze. Let's see, what other one? I would like to do them all. I'd love to do Wacken again. I'd love to do Gods of Metal again. I know the economy is different than it was when we first started, but man, I'd like to get back over there and do a whole summer festival thing. It's just a matter of getting it all nailed down.
And is that the plan? Is there some touring for this album coming?
I certainly hope so. I'm waiting to hear. I know now that I'm hoping that things will actually start falling into place a little bit more. I know we're going to be doing the Female Voices of Metal in Belgium in October, and probably plan quite a few things around that. But I'd love to get out. I'd love to get out in the U.S. too, and
We wouldn't mind seeing you up here in Canada either.
Huh?
We wouldn't mind seeing you up here in Canada either.
Thank you. I wouldn't mind. I've been talking about that since the first album. So you've been reading. I've been wanting to come up there, and actually did try, but nothing really, nothing transpired. So I'm hoping maybe this time around people will get it together and we can actually make it happen.
Well, I'm thinking with Frontiers behind you, you're going to get some opportunities to tour, I would say.
Well, I hope so. That's all I can say is I hope so. So far, so good. We'll see how that all goes.
I wanted to ask you, I had read some information that you had started at one point in a James Dio cover band. Is that correct?
Yeah. That was a very short period of time, but it was a lot of fun. And that started off, even in that, I wasn't their lead singer for the whole time. They had someone else, and that was a lot of fun, and I was to come up and do, Neon Nights and Heaven and Hell.
And you consider
after
him
the first show, they wanted me to do it full time. But I was also in a different band at the time, so I did it for a few shows, and it was a blast. But, that was a short period of time, but it was fun.
He's a major reason why we have the website, and we were pretty distressed at his passing. So I always I like to ask people to consider him an influence, what what impact he had in their career. So
he was the first metal voice I ever heard, and that was when Craig played I think it was some Rainbow for me, and I was blown away because and then he played some other stuff for me and some Dio, because at that time, it's like, you need to get into this stuff. This is what you need to be doing. And that's what sold me. I mean, on the real, because it's obvious I've been influenced by Dio anyway, so I don't feel like I'm just saying this now,
Definitely.
So, you know what I mean. And, and that was like, oh, my God. And I could pattern myself after that more than anything else I heard after that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it was really, it's been a huge influence. It was an honor to have a chance to meet him, and he just greatness.
Exactly. Is there any non-metal influences that you have?
A ton. I would say probably more than metal influences. From Ella Fitzgerald, Melissa Etheridge, Tina Turner. I have such a broad spectrum of music that I like, even some country, and it's not so much emphasis, just the stuff that I like, because I like to keep my mindset fresh. This is just for me. I mean, other people may not feel the same way, but for me, when writing, it's just better to have other stuff going on. If I listen to the same thing, then I'm going to produce the same thing. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so I want to have influences from people other than just that vein of music. And stuff that moves me. If it moves me, it's cool.
Wonderful. I am going to ask, we always ask one last question, and I've switched it up a little bit for you because, like I said, I don't get a chance to interview a lot of female lead singers, so I wonder who you deem as the real metal queen. Yourself? Lizzie Hale or Lita Ford?
I'm not going to answer that question because it seems so divisive to me. Do you know what I mean? I don't like being put on the spot to pick anyone. I just throw the horns up for all the women in metal, lead singers or not, anywhere, musicians and the women that support metal, because I think that's great. But no, I don't have any pick for queen, and certainly not me. I mean, yeah.
I think you're well on your way myself.
Thank you. Well, you can coordinate me if you'd like. You can crown me if you'd like. I do like jewels.
Well, I would like to thank
lots of bling in the crown.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to thank Veronica Freeman so much for doing this, and
thank you.
To remind everyone that Dominion does drop in North America on March 8th, and Benedictum's going to do their best to get up here to Canada to see us, I believe.
Well, let me tell you, if you guys ask for it and make a noise about it, we can make it happen. So that's, supply and demand. We would love to go up there. Actually, I'm going to Canada in June. Got to go see that Grand Prix race,
There you go.
So meet me over there. Meet me in Montreal.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Veronica.
Thanks, Belle. Take care.